Alright, so this next video is an instructional video of the compound exercise called the squat. An exercise is really called a compound exercise due to the number of muscles that are trained during the actual exercise. So the squat trains a large number of muscle groups, namely the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the erectors, the trapezius, the abdominals and obliques, and the upper back and lats. So the other two key compound exercises are the bench press and the deadlift, which we'll do separate videos for. But yeah, the squat's a great exercise. So to prepare yourself for the squat, you'll want to take your shoes off because you don't want your shoes altering the lift in any way, particularly when you've got a lot of weight on the bar. So I usually warm up before I do my main set with a couple of sets of 60% of my heaviest weight. And I usually do around half the targeted repetitions of that heavy set. The key for this is obviously not to tire yourself out, but to warm your muscles up. So just be aware of that. It's not to get a sweat up necessarily. It's just to warm the muscles up and engage them and get them ready to do the exercise. So let's get the video started and we'll go through this exercise and firstly the setup. So as you can see, the first part of this setup is the actual bar, and I'll just pause the video there. The bar height. Now, as you can see here, the bar is at about midway through my chest level. And the reason for that is it looks low because it's below my shoulders, which will be supporting the bar later in the lift. But the reason for that is you don't want to have to tippy toe to re-rack the bar at the end of your set, particularly if there's a lot of weight on the bar. So having it at a low point like this, where you essentially bend your knees to pick the bar up, which we'll go through in a minute, is the ideal height for the bar. So just be aware of that. So let's get the video going again. The next part of this is setting up the fail racks. So essentially you want those fail racks just below the hip level. As you can see there, that distance below my hip. Now I'll just pause that video there again. So just a quick note on failing. Essentially, I rarely push myself to failure on a particular exercise, and the reason for that is that I really am paying attention to my form, which will give me the lead indicators as to whether the weight is too heavy. So when my form deteriorates, I'll stop the exercise on the immediate rep after that deterioration in form. And particularly with this squat exercise, you'll notice if your weight is too heavy, that you'll stop squatting down low enough, and that is the way that your form will deteriorate, and also give you an indicator as to whether you need to lighten the bar. So just be aware of that. So let's recommence the video again and we'll go through the lift. So as you can see, I'm getting ready to get underneath the bar. First thing I do is just make sure this bar is on the rack evenly. So I don't want it sort of lopsided on the rack. So I'm just shuffling that bar across there. The second aspect of this lift is to get underneath the bar. I bend at the knees. You obviously don't want to bend or tilt your head forward and bend your spine because that will, essentially put too much pressure on your spine. As you move yourself under the bar, you'll notice that I check the markings on the bar to ensure that the bar is evenly positioned across my back. You want the bar so it's across your trapezius muscles on your back. These muscles are just below your shoulder blades. You don't want the bar on your neck, obviously, because that will put too much pressure on your neck. And your hands really should be just used as an extra balance for the bar. So it's balanced, essentially balanced evenly across your back, but yeah, the hands just stabilize it. So to get the bar off the rack, I simply just stand up by straightening my legs, and then I shuffle back slightly, still inside the fail racks. And then essentially you'll see that my back is in a neutral position with that bar resting on my trapezius muscles. My back is still straight. That's the essential part of this lift. So as you'll see, as I squat down, I keep the chest high at the bottom of this lift, and I do this to keep the spine straight. And I also help to keep the chest high by keeping the abdominal muscles engaged throughout the lift. At the bottom of the squat, your hamstrings really should be parallel to the ground. So basically that's the level that you need to get down to make this exercise a proper exercise. And then you really should feel your muscles, the quadriceps, the glutes and the hamstrings particularly engaged. And at the bottom of the lift, I often feel my abdominal muscles really engaged to keep that back straight. So perform the planned reps and weights, just making sure you're getting down low enough. Just a quick note to add to this video is I mentioned when you're unracking the bar to put the bar across your trapezius, and the trapezius muscles lie just above your shoulder blades. That's just a small correction. Thanks.